Dave, first of all, before we have a look at what's happening for the Alex, let's just have a look at general. Unfortunately, the COVID situation seems to be coming back around, doesn't it, when you see the Premier League teams getting called off. Just your overall view of it and how you're sort of trying to combat it all.
Well, we're doing as much as we can to make sure that we don't get caught with the virus, if you like. You know, vaccines are a personal choice, we all know that. I had my booster on Saturday morning. I didn't feel great. I certainly didn't feel great by 5 o'clock. You know, so there's that element of it. We're constantly reminding the players that they should be getting immunised. We'll be going on 2 buses to Gillingham. So straight away we're decreasing his chances by 50% there. And even last time when it wasn't mandatory, but it was recommended, I went to plenty of games where there was only 1 bus for the away team, as we went on 2 buses everywhere. We've been testing all the way through. I know at least a handful of clubs, just through conversation, don't test in our league, which is fine, but we have been testing, we continue to test. And we hope that will, you know, give us an early warning if anyone has got COVID. We've got 1 case at the minute, 1 self-isolating because he came into contact with someone, and that's it. And you know, I think that the 1 case is because he went to see family in a big city, we think, although you can never be certain. We're going back to mask wearing and social distancing and 2 dressing rooms and splitting the teams and all the rest of it, because I believe the experts. I don't believe little Johnny from Coventry on Twitter who thinks he's an immunisation and an infectious disease expert who said it's a load of codswallop. It seems as though it's highly infectious, far more transmissible, the new Omicron thing, the variant. So we're going to try and preempt. We all know that the sort of deaths come 3 or 4 weeks after cases and all the rest of it, and we've got to, I don't want to sound like a doom merchant. I'm hoping no one will die. But we've got to try and get things in place before, you know, the sort of high incidence rate comes to the Crewe area, if you like. I'm not sure it's as high around here as it is in the big cities, but we've got to put everything in place before that. And if it is here, fine. We have to live with it. You know, it's not my job to discuss the morality of vaccines, because some players think it's immoral. I have got my own view, and I think everyone should get vaccinated. I did it for 8 years at university. I think anybody who doesn't, I think they need to read the things that I read at university. So we're doing everything we can, and we hope it stays away, not just for us, obviously for everyone. We certainly don't want to go back to where we were over the last couple of years, and we certainly don't want to see the death rate and what we saw certainly in the first wave. You know, immunisations have kept the deaths low, and that's the main thing. And we hope that is the case going forward.
Well, you mentioned you've had a bit of illness and you've had a few injuries as well. We'll talk more about how the preparation has been affected through that. Well, where are you in that treatment room? You would have checked out your players early on. And what have you got? Fingers crossed. You were saying at the weekend you hope you get some back. You're being stretched, aren't you?
Yeah, we're hopeful we'll get them back for Saturday. We've got 1 lad isolating, 1 lad COVID. We've got 2 lads ill that's not COVID. You know, had PCRs and all the rest of it. It's definitely not COVID. But they're still ill. One of them will be back for Saturday. The other one we're not sure. Obviously we've got Ben Knight, he's having a scan today on his foot. There's another one near him when he got injured, which is just one of them innocuous things. He was playing Saturday, doesn't, you know, does it last thing in training. Friday morning. 1 lad fell ill overnight. we've got a couple of knocks and bruises, but I'm hopeful we'll be in better shape for Saturday than we have been certainly for the last 2 games. For the last Lincoln and Sheffield Wednesday, I think we had 2 or 3 different players the day before the actual game, and then come the morning of the game, we have to change our plans, and on Saturday we had to change plans, shape and formation, and how we went about our business, and I think it showed certainly in the final third. But then that's what life throws at you. It's not an excuse. It's just facts. It's reality. So it is what it is. We'll get on with it.
How does that affect you, as the manager and the coach, that you work with your players right up until the last minute? And obviously they would have probably known the team, and then it all changes and there's different players in. Does that affect you heavily?
What, personally or as a team?
As a team?
Well, Saturday, the physio phoned me and said that one lad was ill, and the one lad who got injured the day before, Ben, couldn't make it. Fine, okay. So I immediately get on the blow to John Dillon and said, right, we're going to have to change. Phoned Kenny, phoned Alex Morris. We had a little chat about what we should do. Then spoke to John Dillon and said, right, I need some clips on this, and this, and because we're going to have to do this, and this. So that we then gave them that info at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, which is not ideal because it's just information without sort of practice. But then that's, there's not much else you can do. It's no one's fault they get ill or injured in the last kick of training on Friday. That's where it is. And when you're already missing a couple through COVID and self-isolation, then you have to get on with it. You have to make the decisions. It is what it is. It's not an excuse. That's just the realities of being a football manager and being in the current climate that we're in. I'm pretty certain that there's, people in charge of a group of doctors at A&E, and suddenly their best doctor, or just any of their doctors, suddenly phones in and says, right, my son's got, or my daughter, or my husband's got, or my wife has got COVID and I can't come into work, and then he has to, and his job's to save lives. So there's no sort of straightforward answer. You just have to make the best of what you've got, and then at that point, try and show them. I thought the lads were a credit. I don't think it was fine margins Saturday. We go in 1-1 at half time. I don't think anyone could have justified it. It would have been a fair result at 1-1 at half time. And then you come out and then suddenly, and they keep us at arm's length because of what's happened in the last sort of 24, 48 hours. So that's the world we live in at the minute. I thought we played reasonably well. I don't think we were outplayed or outfought or anything like that. And then another day you get something from the game. So I don't think we were poor by any stretch. And given the circumstances leading into it, then the players deserve a fair degree of credit for what we asked of them. Did they get it right all the time? No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. But I don't think it was a lack of trying or a lack of effort or a lack of will or a lack of trying to do it. The execution just wasn't quite right, and which is understandable. Just
following up on Ben Knight's not a similar injury to what he had before. He was out for a bit. The frustrating times. Have you got a feeling that it could be a short time?
Well, he's having a scan today. He had an X-ray. He felt a pain in the top of his foot. There's no one near him. X-ray, no break in any of the metatarsals. He's having a scan today, and we'll know what the results are probably this time tomorrow.
You've changed in the last few weeks to the 3 central defenders, 3 of your own lads as well. Just generally overall on the team, how's that made you better, and what do you think you're getting out of that?
I think anyone who's seen the last 4 or 5 games would hope, agree that we are playing better. We're getting more control in the games. That's the starting point. We've got to become a lot better at it. But from where we were, then, we did it 3.5, 4 seasons ago when we were 4-4-2 and went to 4-3-3, and suddenly you go, actually, we're better at this. Is this way better than the last way? Well, it is at the minute, but then that doesn't mean to say we won't change again. So, you know, the lads who have come in have done well. What we're asking them to do, they're starting to pick up. We have been more prescriptive to them. We're going to continue to be more prescriptive with them, and that's important. I think we're heading in the right direction. We've got to start picking up points, but I think anyone who's seen the last 4 or 5 games wouldn't say we're a bottom of the table team, but that's where we are, and that's the reality of it. It's fact, and we've got to get ourselves out of that.
Football players, football managers, everybody connected with football and their club, they always want, as the old saying goes, it to be in their own hands, that they can deal with it themselves. And that's, I'm pretty sure, that first aim for you just got to close that points gap, and you've got games coming up. I know Wigan's involved in the Christmas period, but there are games coming up that you probably see the fixtures that you can bridge that gap.
Yeah, of course. I don't think we should fear anyone in this league. Yes, there's some big teams. You know, we've just been to Ipswich and deserve to get something from the game. We played Sheffield Wednesday and thought, well, actually, I'm not saying they didn't deserve to win. They've won the game. It's not sour grapes or anything. But on another day, you go, actually, 1-1 at half time, and it's you know where you're at that point. So it's there's no one in this league that we fear. There's, like I said, there's some big teams, but there's also some teams that we know we should be beating, and that's what we've got to do going forward. You know, we've got half season to go, and we didn't want to be in this position. We are. But like I say, it's in our hands, and we've got to make sure we make a better fist of it in the second half of the season.
Gillingham were opponents only a few weeks ago. They won't carry that quality of one or two of the clubs you've mentioned, but they do carry their own threat, don't they? Yeah. And you have to be ready for that.
Yeah, we saw them here. You know, it was 2-0, but they hit the post twice on 2 set pieces. There's no real surprises with the Steve Evans team. There isn't. You know, he's a manager that makes his teams effective in a certain way, in a very pragmatic way, and it's not to everyone's taste. I think that's unfair on Steve. I think it's disingenuous, to be honest. He's managed however many league games and football league games he's managed, and it can't be that bad. He managed Rotherham and Leeds, and you know, he's managed some big clubs. You know, so to dismiss Steve Evans and Steve Evans' teams, I think you do so at your peril, because he can get results, and he has got results, and he's been in this job a long time. And as anyone knows, it's a tough job to be in.
Just one other point. Is there anything you've got to tell your fans that it's been coming out on the social media about Blackpool going to look to reduce an offer for Owen Dale's situation and transfer? Anything developing from your end of that, where they're coming from?
It's the first I've heard. Well, there's a loan with an option to buy. It's as simple as that. If they don't buy him, we'll have him back. Thank you very much. We'll more than happily accept Owen Dale as a new signing, in inverted commas, in January. That's absolutely no skin off my nose. what a good little signing that'd be. If they do want him, then I think it's already been agreed what the number is. Other than that, I don't know.